Perhaps the moon knows the secret of the new sound.
He's so bright and pull on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and
Open your mind. Let us begin our quest to find the new sound.
I've got new. Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got fries.
Look at the shine, everything I need.
Zoo, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo.
Okay, let's have fun.
better bedtime.
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo, zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine,
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo. I've got new.
look at the shine.
He's so bright and bright, pull on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and bright, pull on the surface, pull on this. He's so bright and he walking on my face. Better bedtime.
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo, zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine,
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo. I've got new.
You must choose. Limbo bimbo. My name is Mr. Susan. You must choose, and now it is time for you to do the choosing. I am Mr. Teen.
Zoo, zoo. I've got new.
You must choose.
Zoo, zoo. I've got fries.
Look at the shine. I am Mr. Teen.
Zoo, zoo. I've got new.
You must choose.
Zoo, zoo. I've got fries.
Look at the shine.
Trapped in cabinets.
Can I get out? Will it get out? Cause he will.
You like a single dime, Vince, single dime.
Better bedtime.
You like a single dime.
He walking on my face.
Everything we need here. You like a single dime, Vince, single dime.
Better bedtime.
You like a single dime.
He walking on my face.
I did a rhyme.
Better bedtime.
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo.
You better
I've got fries.
Look at the shine.
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo. I've got new. I've got new. Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo.
you better
I've got fries.
Look at the shine.
Nicey, nicey, zoo, zoo. I've got new. Zoo, zoo. Nicey, nicey, zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine.
I did a song. Jupiter, I did a song. You ain't got one. Yeah. Oh, I feel sick.
Well, hello. Oh, today's been adventurous. But hello, everyone, and welcome to another Darachat. I know it's been a while. I was at a family event this weekend, so that's why you didn't hear from me. But I'm not tied to having to do this thing like most people do and taking this up for full time. But getting past that, Anyway, my name is Dara. This is Darachat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, because some people keep saying Daramouthe. For some odd reason, I say it correctly, and everyone's like, "Wait, Daramouthe? Silent. It's a silent E. Silent E. Ugh. Where was the English at when you were learning in like preschool? Come on, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y. Oh. Anyway, I am joined by the interesting Mr. Vent, which is a weird name to have because it sounds like something you do and have, right? You have a vent, you vent. I mean, your name is quite ambidextrous.
Yeah, it's part of my last name. It's in there somewhere, so it's just short.
Okay.
You know, growing up, we always call our friends short nicknames for everything. So that was kind of mine growing up.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Yeah, this is just a made up name I kind of borrowed from the sounding of what vermouth sounds like. So when I try to tell him, it's like, I don't drink, but the word just had that funny sound to it. Then I'm like, yeah. So yeah, but it was interesting earlier. We had a few technical difficulties. Someone was using Google. Where aren't you supposed to be like? Why aren't you using Brave? Come on, man. Ah, goodness. You're letting Google take you all down like that. I don't know what to do.
Old habits die hard for IT people. We're just as
Well,
guilty as users.
well, no, it's understandable too because I mean, how many items does Google have that are free,
Yeah.
right? Docs, all this other stuff, photos, Drive. I mean, at this certain point, what doesn't Google have for free? I mean, I'm waiting for a Google prostitute at this point. Not that people would be joyous about that happening, but anyway, yeah. Well, thank you for coming on and joining me. I know, right off the bat, you're not here because of what you do or all that stuff. Trying to point that out early because I'm not. That's not why I invited you. I invited you on because I like talking to different people. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, no worse.
I, as you know, I had local Vivian on a while back. She's a lovely lady. At first, I didn't know she was with locals. I just thought, oh, she's local Vivian, like she's local.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she let me know during the stream that she works. It was like, huh. Oh, all right. Well, I guess this is going somewhere. But but no, I'm always glad to get the opportunity to talk to an absorbent amount of people. Like I've talked to, I mean, goodness, I've talked to people from different platforms. I've talked to people that are VTubers. I mean, at this point, I'm waiting to talk to Predator himself. That's not me. That's not me. But yeah, no, but thank you for coming on because uh, obviously, I know that for some to go on somebody's stream they don't know, that could be sort of, there's always a worry of being as a gotcha or something like that because you know how this goes, right? You work
Oh,
for a
yeah.
company, yeah, you all this stuff. Hey, Luke, how's it going? You work for a company, all this stuff, and then they bring out, it's like, oh, what are you? He's drinking Coke. Did you not see the red can in his hand? He had a Coke.
Coke Zero.
Coke's here.
Trying to
Oh,
be healthier, you know?
healthier. That has a Spartan in it, though.
Yeah, it does. I'm screwed no matter what I do. I go down to the fridge and grab a Yingling. We'll call it even.
Hey, whoa, that's American though. That's a little. It's American. It's American, but it's a little. It's not as healthy. But but yeah, I don't. And, I've had people who were considered like big content creators and stuff. But I don't bring. I had a lady on named Nina Infinity. Of course, she's a prominent YouTuber. But I didn't bring her on because she's a prominent YouTuber. I brought her on because I've kind of followed her before, and of course, she's kind of relation to say. Tom Connors Jr. of Midnight's Edge, and they sort of kind of work together. And I followed Midnight's Edge from YouTube for quite a while, and of course they do multi-stream both of them, Rumble. But it's just people. At the end of the day, we're all flesh and blood. We can all be pretty killed easily, mind you. And it's always good just to be able to talk across the table and all that stuff. I switched from regular to diet Dr. Pepper. What we do what we can, I guess. Okay. I
Pretty
almost
much.
said that wrong. Yeah. It's the trouble, right? Me. So for me, I've been drinking sort of these probiotic sodas. So like this. Um,
Oh, okay.
this is called Evolution Fresh. They are sold at Kroger. They're expensive. I got this as a deal for like 2 for 4, 2 for 5 or something like that. But it's a pre I can't see very well. It's a pre and probiotic soda.
Yeah.
And it only has like 45 calories and maybe like six. Oh, look, 5 plus. Oh, it has about 5 or 6 grams of sugar. So, again, that stuff's not cheap. Of course, there's another one I buy. It's called Poppy, Poppi, not Y, and you can buy that at Kroger as well. And I just buy that because one, it's a bit healthier, and two, regular soda's not that great for you, unfortunately. And
Anything that's good seems to be bad for you.
that's true. Oh, look, there's all that ice cream. Oh.
Oh, man.
I don't know anything about that. It's funny thing though is so before we came on, we had mic hearing issues, which was because of the tab thing, and then of course Rumble Studio wouldn't start. I was clicking and it wouldn't start, and then finally it would start. But now it's that it doesn't have the campaign tab in here anymore. So I wonder if they're doing something with that because they just took it away, or it's not in here, or I did something wrong. I don't know. Um, Yeah, that's
Oh,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I don't see
yeah.
nothing in my chats I'm in.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't, cause the guest is
Well,
limited
no.
to.
I mean in the Rumble chats.
Yeah.
I had that
No.
up on a screen for like our internal shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's just I don't know what happened. But anyway, my daughter loves it. Oh, the Diet Dr. Pepper? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, yesterday I was and this is just shop talk, so you can tell me to stop whenever. Yesterday I was on a stream with someone I've been on stream with, Toasty, and so I was kind of so to kind of give you backstory. Last month, and I told local Vivian this too. Last month I was trying to do a sort of a feedback collect all because I'm trying to I wanted to help see Rumble improve and all that stuff. And so I'm trying to do like the bare like the poor man's version of collecting feedback because I'm doing very I I have an idea of what is necessary to help get things over. So like techs need a very detailed approach, like IT people need a very detailed thing. Or as I've begun to do, I've taken photos, I've taken videos of stuff, like that kind of helps in cutting across an essay, because
Y-
because usually you're writing an essay of like, here I went to school and one day and it's 5,000 pages later and you're like, I didn't think I need that. Um,
Yeah, no,
there's
seriously, get at any improvements, suggestions you guys have, or issues you guys run into. Definitely hit us up. We won't know unless people say something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And not just
and
say it's broke. Like,
yeah, no, exactly, and that's and again, I want to not stay on too on top of it because you do work all day, and I don't want to. That's why I didn't bring you here. I'm just trying to explain that. I call it Rumble squared or Rumble to the power of two. If you know how that looks, like the little two at the end of the word.
yeah,
It's just basically me trying to make a feedback because there's I'm on the outside. We only see what Rumble tosses out at us, right? Like the updates and
yep,
also, Rick and all that. So we don't get to see how you guys collect data or what you're collecting or what the majority of the platform says. Nothing against anyone. This is just me trying to put that's why I'm doing Rumble Squared is because this feedback collection, you see on those posts after every at Rumble video thing, oh, the UI sucks and it's
yeah,
just basic. Or your this sucks or that sucks, whatever. I'm just okay. That doesn't really help.
yeah, exactly. Tell me why you think it sucks or why it's
Yeah.
not working the way you want it to.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm doing this is because I want to get a better feedback. And I did the first time I did it. I did make a public post on X because I do want to try to keep it transparency. But I had another creator named Hans Diamondball, and he sort of worked within that field of that the tech stuff and all that. And so there's a lot of things that probably have to change. Like I need more uh, data of like the descriptors, right? So there are a few things of um, the latency. Some people have streaming issues or latency issues with the app themselves, and of course, that was just a plain word I put. It wasn't. It wasn't detailed enough for you guys to have something there. People will just say this thing and expect you to fix it, but in reality, the IT people are troubleshooters,
Yeah,
right? You've got this just like a PC tower, right?
yep,
Because there's companies out there that do that. You take your tower to them, you try to fix something, whatever. And so it's just a PC tower, right? And they say, a computer turns on for a few minutes, and then once they get to home page, it turns off. And okay, well that's okay. We'll try to figure it out. And so you're kind of working with a sort of blank page with some missing pieces, right? And
yep.
I took CompTIA Plus, but I haven't used it, so I'm bare bones. I am bare bones at this. But luckily, I know a lot of different people who are tech people, so there is that. But anyway, that's why I'm doing it because one, I want to try to bridge that gap between people who aren't but want things changed and the people who have the knowledge but the translation of it is not really there very well because I don't know your inner working systems and I'm not going to ask for that. I'm just going to ask how can I better my approach to help you guys out because
Yeah,
that's what I want to do.
yeah, no, gathering that information. Rick is he's project manager, so he's
Mhm.
key for all that. Everything UI updates.
Mm.
he's going to be running point on that. So you
Okay.
guys tell him what you're seeing, or show him rather.
Mm. Yeah.
And even if you email to like support@rumble.com, just make a note saying pass this on to Rick or whatever.
Okay.
And the team there, like we all overlap because we're not a big company.
Right. Yeah. I
So
think. Go ahead. Sorry.
no. Yeah. So I was just gonna say. So basically, if Mario's team gets it, who Mario runs support,
Yes.
he'll definitely pass it off to Rick.
Okay.
Or if you tell me something's coming in, I'll say, hey, look for this and give it to
Yeah.
Rick and
Yeah.
tell him, this is some information that we've been getting from people
Yeah.
on
No.
ways
And
to improve.
yeah. And I want to try to do this within. Again, you have a lot of people who are upset, burned, or whatever by Rumble in certain ways, and they're just going to be negative after all this stuff, and they have their own reasons. But for me, I want to see Rumble be great. I'm not trying it to be other platforms, but there are things you can look at out there, right? Like people recycle ideas,
Yep.
right? We recycle ideas throughout time. Ideas have been recycled, all that stuff, and I want to try to do this in a more positive, forward-thinking way because at the end of the day, like you said, you're a small company. I think the last time I saw the numbers was, I think between you all is 160 different people, I believe.
That sounds pretty close.
Yeah, because there's the local crew and then there's the Rumble crew. I probably will ask you what operations is because I've worked for a business, but I don't understand that remark.
Yeah.
I-
So operations is like the team I'm on. We're a network operating center and
Okay.
a security operating center combined as
Oh.
one. So
Okay.
operations, that aspect, I more am concerned about the back end equipment, the servers and whatnot,
Mhm.
network switches, routers.
Right.
So that's kind of where my focus is, making sure that stays up. Or if I start seeing some issues, I can reach out to like our engineering team, which does the actual streaming part of things.
Mm,
So there's like a lot of overlap with what I do.
mm.
Just kind of trying to keep everything running, to
Yeah.
make sure the mice stay on the wheel.
No wonder you're called Vent.
I feel so bad for these guys because they see me talking at 10 o'clock at night or whatever hour I'm working, and they know something bad's happening.
Yeah.
I'm like the harbinger of doom.
Well, yeah, I know I know you're very vocal about your, because I've seen you make posts yourself, so I know you're very vocal on Twitter X. But just like, man, that guy just goes all out there. But yeah, no, I again, my limited knowledge comes to I've built my own PC with a little help. I use my PC part picker.
Yep.
.com because it has that compatibility filter, and I've
Yeah.
also taken the CompTIA Plus, which I haven't really used per se, but I do have some understanding. But to have the full grasp of saying in the translation of okay, so this group is here saying, oh, they're the streaming portion for the mobile app on the mobile app. Yeah, that's right. The mobile app is kind of bad for them. And there's mastering Rumble, who's putting out stuff out there. Mr. R, Mr. R, yes, Mr. R putting stuff out there for like a thing. And so I'm trying to use, and I kind of do use a little help in collecting data. So don't get me wrong, I'm not super genius. But again, it's me trying to want to do this because I've seen a lot of super negative stuff. Obviously, we all know of the Dr. Disrespect, of course, has joined Rumble.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're very excited, but I'm sure they also know of the controversial aspect of him because you can't. I mean, with him, he's I don't know what you would call his type of personality. Exorbitant? No. Um, it's bombastic. We'll go with
Yeah.
bombastic. It was very bombastic. Hey, Steve. He's a very bombastic personality, but of course, we all know the story of Twitch and then going to YouTube and all that stuff. So, for right now, it seems like that's working out well for them. But of course, that will also still carry the controversial aspect of him. So,
Oh, yeah.
so how did you even get into the IT realm? Because it seems like you've been in it for a while.
Oh, yeah. I went to a 2-year tech school back in 2001. I graduated in 04. So I've been working for 20 years now in the field.
Wow. I mean, have you?
like starting out, like my first job was as a help desk guy at a tax firm, a CPA firm in Pittsburgh, where I'm from,
Really? Wow.
and just kind of built my way up there.
Wow. How is it working for a tax firm?
It was horrible, especially because the busy season from January to April, where
Mhm.
taxes are due,
Mhm.
is chaos.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's
Oh.
long hours, people getting frantic. You know, they're trying to get their stuff done, audits
Mhm.
done.
Oh yeah. I just a while back I sent in my W-9 to accounting at Rumble because I did break the 600. That's it. Not on purpose. That was more of like people were very generous and was like, wow, I didn't know I could. I didn't know people would like me that much.
That's awesome. That speaks to what you're doing. You relate to
Well,
people.
yeah, I try. I really do. And then a live search. Everybody's using all the servers at once. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, you have to imagine back in the day when it was just paper and pencil, how many numbers they had to push,
Yep.
how much paper was used.
Crazy. Just craziness.
Now you have at this point you have you're coming up to the point where AI could eventually take over this stuff, and AI or language learning models or art generators, whatever, they do take up a quite of a resource for uh I would think servers.
Yeah.
Because what is it? I think Elon's built like the biggest farm because of their you're talking about Grok and stuff and all that. Of H100s. Sorry, that's it, H100s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I believe so. You're right on that.
because I work at a job where they, hey Bob, they send us those H100s because either they're defective or whatever. And so those, okay, let me just put this out for you. So those, a one H100 is worth 60K,
Yeah.
right? And there's one below it. It's called an A100. That's worth 20K. So these things right here that are part of the sort of the AI ordeal and all this stuff, they're worth a lot of money.
Yep.
Right? So if you think it's just a drop, if you think companies, well, bigger companies, right? Rumble, a little iffy because 60K is a lot. But for bigger companies, it's like nothing. But for companies like smaller end or whatever, that's a lot of money.
Hell yeah.
60K for one H100, and
One.
you probably need at least a whole set. Which so the baseboard for one of those H100 things is about 8 per.
Yeah.
So 8 per 60K is about almost $500,000. That's a lot of money for something that's going to be in relation to AI, basically.
Yeah. It's still not proven yet fully. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity.
Mhm.
But like Live Search App said, you know, there is a
Yeah,
lot of mistakes in there.
yeah, of course. I've sort of used the Google Gemini, of course, and then there's the Grok I've used a bit. The one I've been using a lot of, and I really enjoy using, is Claude. If you've not heard of that,
I am not.
and by Anthropic. And I'll just do a quick showing of it
Yeah, for sure.
here. Um, Claude.ai, if anyone wants to know, but this is what this is my friend of it right here. So this is Claude.ai. Of course, I pay for it, so I kind of use it as um, helping with certain stuff or like the weekly schedule or whatnot. But yeah, it's just it can. I just use this one because I'm not sure like where it falls on the scale, like against Gemini or whatever, but or ChatGPT, which everyone knows. But this I enjoy using because yeah, it's just growing on me. So, but this is Claude.ai if anyone wants to know. I pay for the professional plan, but if you use like the free one, it can be very limiting because a lot of people are using
Yeah.
it. But it is there, and yeah, you're right. They do say, as Leifster said, they do say they make mistakes. You kind of check it, but I mean, there are some things you have to run. There are some things I feel that are great to run. Use the sort of LLMs as a filter, right? Especially if you're dealing with the online ordeal, right? And you're trying the social media. Social media is a wrecking ball too. It can be a wrecking ball to human communication because all you're getting is a wall of text,
Yeah.
right? There was a great have you ever heard of the Key and Peele show from way back when?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there was a sketch they did, and Jordan Peele, whatever the character was, is texting his friend. He's sort of like a 420 person. He's sort of texting his friend like this sort of stuff, uh, no, which one is the bald one? I think this Jordan Peele is the bald one. No, um, anyway, the bald one. Yeah, yeah, I don't remember, but anyway, the
It's too
bald
long,
one.
too long
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, too long ago. Yeah, but the bald one gets the text and it's sort of like the texting back and all this stuff, and he's not a 420. He's bright eyed, bushy tailed. But then some change in the wording or whatever, or in the texting, how they do it, and one is assuming the other side is saying something. Like, so the 420 guy is, chill, relax, and he thinks all the texts coming in are just chill, relax. But then all of a sudden on the other side, you know, he's getting agitated at certain points, he's getting all this stuff, and it just is back and forth. And so ultimately ends, they go to a bar, right? And so the 420 guy is there, he is holding 2 drinks in his hand because he's going to visit his friend. The other guy, the bald guy, comes in with nails in the back because he's coming for a fight. So the point of the matter is though is that social media on the aspect of just reading it can be a mess because all
Yep.
you're getting is 50% of that communication, and that's where I think a lot of people, you see, and don't get me wrong, the engagement posts, bait posts, and all these things that people try to do to get monetization, because that's what Twitter X is pretty much now, is just
Yep.
monetization. Um, you, what is it? And I'll just say this right now. I feel like monetization in its own right has kind of sort of ruined creativity, because then the question becomes, why is someone creating? Are they creating because they want to create, they enjoy creating, or are they creating because, hey, I can get paid?
Quick buck.
Yeah, and there's no platform that can get you a quick buck, right? Because it's always views and all that other stuff.
Yep.
There's other platforms that are coming and sort of, but at the end of the day, it feels like, and of course, platforms can't survive on no money, otherwise they'd be gone the next day. Because you kids do not know how much it costs to run a website, let alone a server farm, the equipment to maintain it, and all this stuff. I mean, from your perspective, for the work you've done, what would you guesstimate would be the biggest cost you've ever had to deal with, or do you never see that?
I don't see the actual numbers, but in my opinion, it'd probably be like the data center locations,
Yeah,
because you can't just have one place.
yeah,
We have
exactly.
data centers all over.
Yeah. Well,
So I mean,
yeah,
all that adds up.
yeah, especially with the hurricane that came this year,
Yeah.
right? They had that hurricane, which it's great. And of course, there's a few headquarters. There's still the one in Canada, and then there's the one in Washington D.C. So there's that. But but yeah, I mean, even Google doesn't have all of its stuff in one place, nor does
Right.
Amazon. I mean, it was. There are server farms in Nevada, of all places. I mean,
Yep.
in one of the hottest places, you have a server farm.
No disasters known to hit there though, other than dryness. Heat.
Dry, well, that or dust tornado, but even then, that's kind of flimsy. But yeah, and I think a lot of people, and and understandably so, because no one's thinking of that, right? We have all these platforms. You have, the video ones, the social media ones like at Twitter X and Facebook and all this stuff, and people only see the front of the store. I
Yep.
think that would be the best way to approach it. People only see the front of the store, but they don't see the back of the store, and that's where part of where you work is the back of the store, where including the hours and stuff that kind of go into it. I mean, the only thing that Rumble isn't at this point is a 20. Well, I don't know if it is or not, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but it doesn't seem to be like a 24/7 support center, so to speak, because there's a cutoff time to where you guys respond to things.
Yeah, unless it's like an absolute emergency,
mm,
like people are saying things are down, then it's 24/7 on that for like questions and the minor concerns.
yes.
Those can kind of wait, I would imagine, at
Yeah.
this point. Later on, that will change, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like I
'Cause
can give you like a real world example, not with Rumble, but
yeah, sure.
for a prior company I worked for, we were MSP, a managed service provider.
Okay.
So do you remember Heinz Ketchup?
Yeah, Heinz ketchup. Yeah.
Warren Buffett bought them out like in 2013 or whatever.
Really?
He outsourced all their IT work. So my company bid to get a Citrix contract. Citrix is like a infrastructure as a service type program, basically.
Interesting.
So all of Heinz, all in Europe and all that would connect to our home office in Pittsburgh to run their programs. So what we had to do to Heinz is we had to set up redundancy because if Pittsburgh would fall in a hole, the show must go on.
Yeah.
So we set up a separate data center in South Carolina, a town called Blythewood for them, and that kind of won us the contract just to go in and kind of what diversification is for some of these companies.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of crazy costs involved that people don't get to see.
Yeah, rightly so, because those are certain things that a company doesn't have. I mean, guess during tax season, because there is stuff that has to be public to the public, right?
Yeah.
Certain stuff. You're still frozen. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Oh,
He's back.
I got you. All right.
Yeah. No, I was like, you froze. I was like, for a second, I thought you were just standing still. Like, oh, he's good. Good. And then he's like, he's not moving. But what was okay? So yeah, the numbers. Yeah, there's stuff that gets seen publicly, like tax stuff. Like I'm sure taxes get put out there in the public because transparency, whatever.
Yeah.
But those numbers that are like, no, he's back. He's back. No worries. Just had a hiccup. But yeah, it's one of those things where they don't have to give that, but I'm pretty sure someone could put in a FOIA or whatever. I'm not sure how that goes, but it's understandable that they don't show that because again, it's funny how some people will use things against by just looking like the Trump stuff, right?
Yep.
When Trump had his taxes out, people would point at this, and this. They'd nitpick. They basically nitpick, and they would try to use that. Chat is not working on Rumble. What? What do you mean? I just got. I can type in it just fine. Oh, nope. Something went wrong. Yep. My chat was. I wonder if I can refresh it and that'll work. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I see Half Pines. Oh, I wonder what's going on. But yeah, the Trump stuff where they nitpicked at it and they tried to use any bit they could to kind of say, oh, you see this right here? Oh, you see this? Oh,
yeah, gotchas.
Yeah, gotchas. And to be honest, that's why I try to be very careful of people who are perceived as well known or part of a group or company, whatever. Trying to say I'm not here for gotchas. I'm not here for all that stuff. I'm here for a conversation because I don't want the other person to worry about. Oh, am I on here for a trap or is this for something completely different? Yeah, because I don't want to do that, right? I don't want people to come on here and think they're on here for some trap because that's when you start losing the ability to not only have trust, but that word of mouth, right? Word of mouth gets spread about you, and all of a sudden you're just no longer touchable anymore, or no one wants to be around you, and that's what I don't want. I not. Not physically touch me. I'm talking. That's a little different. But it's just I want to be able to talk to whoever. I don't care where they're at. I don't care what the size is, whether they work for a company or not. I want to be able to sit down and say, okay, I'm a human, you're a human. Where we at? That sort of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah. Let me try. Yep. Nope, chat's not working on Rumble, on the Rumble side. So, and also the count. I took a picture of it to show, but the counter for the Rumble end is buggy too. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll send that stuff to support later on. Um, because now I'm making you work while you're talking at the same time. It's like, oh, he's not gonna come back. It's like, look, I came to that guy's show and he made me work. I just got off work. He's making me work now. Why the heck did I go there?
In all honesty, though, I am off today and tomorrow, so.
Yeah, live. Oh, there we go. Phoenix
Oh,
was
wait.
able to get something in. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So I don't know what happened. Yeah, my hello. So here, I'll show. I'll show what I'm seeing on the Rumble side. So here's us. And you can see my hello right here is knocked out. Like I can't.
Oh, no.
Oh, now it's going through.
All
Okay.
right.
So I was denied, and then so it was just saying something's not working. So I just wanted to show video evidence. Video evidence.
No. I totally believe you guys.
Well, no, it just like I said, it helps with having all that stuff because again, you guys are. Would it be best to say you guys are also puzzle solvers too, in that retrospect with IT?
Yeah, it depends. Like, so for some of the back ends, the streaming parts, like that's not my specialty. So I'm still learning a lot from the team members here. But yeah, it's the most information I can give them before I wake them up is what I try to do. Because I don't want to sandbag someone and say, hey, this is down, and be like a user and say, oh, it's broke.
Yeah.
What is broke? Can we replicate?
Yeah.
Basic troubleshooting 101.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, and that's one of the things to learn too. So one of the things to learn from my CompTIA Plus was there's a have to do right now, already working on and already done thing, right? You have this. I don't know what they call that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's sort of like the bugs and stuff you're working on now, the bugs and stuff you need to get working on, and
Yeah.
then stuff that's already been done. Because there is a ladder to it, I guess. I don't know what the word for it is. Hey, Adam. There's a ladder to it, but it doesn't mean that everything's gonna get worked on right away because struggling for some. Yeah. We're already seeing it in Rumble Studio, but we're still here. We're still live. Hey, Bill, does it? But I can't remember. Because once I'd gotten my A plus, and I'm sure because again, CompT is well known in the industry.
Yep.
The next one I was trying to work on was Security Plus. I think is what it's called.
Yeah, they got Security Plus, Network Plus.
I did not pass the first time around.
Hey, look, shit happens. I mean, some of those exams are brutal.
Yeah, it's hopes everyone good. Yeah, we're having a great Monday. Thank you guys for being here. Because again, I had taken the CompTIA Plus can be done either it can be done online or at a chosen station. So where I'm at, there's a college where it's kind of Pearson is the company, Pearson View.
Yep.
That does all this stuff. Hey, thank you, Adam, for that. I appreciate that. Pearson View is the place where is the I don't know what they call that. It's the official place where you can go take different tests.
Yep.
And Steve has gotten one too. Thank you for that, Steve. But yeah, it's I'm grateful. But of course, next December mine runs out, and I really haven't done anything to get back in line with it. And because I'm enjoying this aspect too much, right? I started out doing gaming, and just like doing game streams or doing like pre-recorded things of what's going on a day or whatever. Please don't throw a sausage peach.
I was supposed to say do not. it's the OSI layer.
Oh, okay.
Physical data network transport session.
PDTS
presentation application.
Goodness. Yeah, that is a mouthful. What do they call? They call that an acronym, don't they?
Like a mnemonic or something like that.
Yeah, that's sort of like trying to remember like where did I put my stuff or whatever. But where was I at? Oh yes, I was doing pre-recorded videos because I couldn't stream it to Rumble, and then when I got to stream Rumble, I did sort of like gaming stuff. But it wasn't until I started having the conversational aspect is where things just hit off, and I was just like,
Nice.
there's something here, right? Because I've followed a lot of creators. I followed some who already streaming on multi-streaming to Rumble as well as Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotics, and a bunch of others.
Yep.
But there was something that I kept seeing that I didn't see from them, and that was they really weren't bringing on people that they had no relation to, in essence of within their group, right? Because content creators that do build a circle, and of I whatever your reason is, you stick with that. I'm not here to complain about that. I'm just here. I didn't see something they were doing, which is they weren't they have creators have a huge resource, right? It doesn't matter if it's 1,000 or a million. They have the hugest resource that only gets tapped into one way, but not the other, and that is the followers.
Yep.
Now, obviously, I know there's a trust reliability thing, right? I've been stood up basically. I have been I've had to reschedule and so many other things. And you never know if someone's going to pull something that will get you taken off. But
Yeah. Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, um, for me, for the many people I've had on, whether they are a creator, whether they are a non-creator, it doesn't matter. The payoff and the whole bout of it has been phenomenal because I've had people on who don't even create at all. Zora was the first person I ever had on. She doesn't create at all. She has a full-time job and does whatever, but she doesn't create at all. And I got to have a conversation with her. I got to sit down with VTubers, some of them which are on this platform. I've got to sit down with people from multiple platforms. I've got to talk to people from Twitch, talk to a person from Kick, only one person, and so on and so forth. And the tool that is known as the internet, right? Because it is a very big tool, very old tool, mind
Yep.
you. Yeah, it's been like what 70s, 80s at this point,
I believe so.
and to not take advantage of the other side where it's not connected factor, right? It was just strange to me. Hey, Razorhead. Me, I don't know. It'd be the worst. It'd be the worst descriptor for a talk show. Free flowing conversations, and that'd be it. It's like, oh, who's gonna be on? It's like, well, just this person, and then what's gonna be the topic? Whatever we want.
Yeah.
Whatever we want. I think that's how it goes. But yeah, it was just it felt like these other content creators, whatever they were doing, they were creating when they want. That's fine, but they weren't tapping into the biggest resource they have, and that was their followers. And I'm like, majority of the people I have as followers are people who've been on. I'm just like, how the hell am I doing this thing? And yet I don't see it very much anywhere else. I'm like, this is bonkers to me. And I'm trying to use these tools that are advent to us, that are right there. Some of it's free to use, some of it's pay. I do a little bit of both.
Yep.
And it's this weird thing where I keep seeing it pop up, but no one's really taking advantage of it. So I just try and see where it went. It's been pretty successful. Not gonna say I'm gonna be having on like the Prince of Nigeria on here anytime, but one can try, Wait, he said he owed me money.
Yeah. He wants to help me out. Jesus.
I remember when those was the biggest thing back in the days. Like, a prince from Nigeria has called to you saying he needs 1,500. It's like, who? What? That's weird. But yeah, that's why I enjoy doing it, because I get to talk to people like yourself and like local Vivian. Which, yes, you do work for the company, which I use stuff to. Yes, sure, but that's not why you're here. I mean, you just have the enforcement instant of coming here when stuff is going wrong.
Of course,
that's your autobiography later in life. When things go wrong, I vent.
People wonder why I'm an asshole,
Hey, you know what? You've got the perfect name. It's an action and a subject.
Exactly.
A noun. It's an action and a noun. It's the vent. And then vent, because it's funny how words are, but yeah, I mean that's interesting with kind of words. So, in essence of your work, how did you become involved with Rumble, and when did you become involved with Rumble?
So I think I saw an advertisement for this position I'm in right now. I want to say February maybe of 23. So like a year and a half ago, a little bit longer.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I just I applied for it. I did something similar with a different company, so I kind of had
Okay.
a little bit of experience in that aspect.
Mm,
And so, I went through the interview process, HR person,
mm,
my managers,
mm,
uh, and then Wojtek, who's the CTO.
mm.
And I guess I didn't say nothing too stupid. I felt so bad for the CTO of Rumble. I felt so bad for him because he had like an hour interview with me,
Wow.
and I don't like I keep it honest. Like I'd rather tell someone I know less than what I do just to
Mm.
not get caught.
Yeah.
Like some people like to make themselves sound better than they are, which
Yeah.
is
Yep.
dumb.
Mm,
But like me and Wojtek were talking about like program a little bit.
mm.
And I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't want to say like, oh yeah, I've done C++ for 5 years, this and that, because he actually knows how to code.
Wow.
Like the people here in the executive leadership, they all actually have skills.
Mm.
A lot of places it's not the case.
Really?
A lot of places people just kind of grow into it,
Right.
but they don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
like the background,
Yeah.
Like Chris Wojtek, they actually know what they're doing. Like
Jeez.
they're actual technical people.
Mm.
So like it's just one of those things. Like if you talk to someone you don't know and he actually knows, and he started asking me questions about something I should know, then I look like an idiot.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to get the job if you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I play it. I play it boring and safe, but
Yeah.
So I felt bad for him though. I told him I apologized after. I was like, I'm so sorry. After he hired me.
Right. No, that's great. No, that's like, yeah, I'm already in. That's good.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it was a good time. The interview process probably lasted like a week and a half because of the three interviews. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, because again, oh yeah, here's one. It's more of a funny one. You have to play chronic. I heard that story and I was like, what?
Hilarious. No, I could play Mary Had a Little Lamb on a piano. I think that's it.
Oh, only Mary? Oh, come on. At least you could play something on a piano.
Yeah, just hit a couple keys, Yeah, no, Justin's 100% right.
C-suite people
Yeah.
know nothing. Know people, but know nothing about tech. Oh,
Exactly.
okay. Now, what's
Yeah,
C-suite? Is that C+?
like CEO,
Oh,
CTO,
okay.
CFO? Yeah, all the top
CFO,
dogs.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, because all I know is the technical terms is CEO, and then there's what is it? The CFO is right underneath it.
the financial
Yeah, financial. Yep, CFO, and
technology.
then technology. Yeah, and then whatever else, because I only know so much. All right,
Yeah.
that's how limited my knowledge is. But no, that's pretty awesome because I know. Oh crap! I when I had local Vivian on, I was trying to ask her, and I believe she's not in Florida. She's somewhere else. I believe she's like in the Midwest somewhere. I can't remember exactly. I'm sorry, Vivian. I really am. And I had her on a while ago, but no, it was nice having her on because she's from the local side. What? Because the integration is coming for Rumble's locals. Before then, how is your communication between? I'm not going to ask you for specifics because I don't want to get you in that kind of trouble.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, what is the? Oh, she's in Colorado. Oh, okay. I forgot, and I apologize. But what is the communication? Do you communicate with them? Do you not communicate with them? Are they just completely separate? How's that go?
Me personally, I don't really interact with them much unless something's going wrong with their servers.
Okay.
But like, I'm sure that them and the engineering team from the Rumble side are always in talks about integrating. What we need to do to get ready.
Mm. Yeah.
So I don't know 100%, but I'm sure they talk a lot, lots of meetings.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, and especially since the process itself is probably going to take a long time to do.
And we want to make sure we get it right. So
Yeah.
the planning is going to be key for that.
Yeah. I will say this: the one thing though I'm excited about is the integration with the premium thing. Because I know, as it's been stated, Crowder, Doc are using that sort of that at a certain point. Because when again, a lot of platforms are going to still get compared to YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is king of the platforms.
Yep.
Of course, the story is, for those who don't know about YouTube, YouTube started in 2005 by like 3 different guys from PayPal, former PayPal employees, and they didn't sell it to Google until the end of 2006, I believe. Because there's a website I found of like the web design of what it looked like back then.
Oh, nice.
You know what? Instead of just saying it, I will go away. And I just found this by accident. Because I was looking up, well, what did YouTube look like in 2011? And here we go. Did I have it? Okay, here we go. So this website is basically webdesignmuseum.org, and it basically shows YouTube at its beginning to where it is now. So this was YouTube back in the day, right? This is what YouTube looked like back in the day. It looks pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And they call it your digital video repository, which is kind of a weird but cool name to say, repository. Although that's pretty close to saying suppository, so I don't know if you want to go with that. But this is what 2005 YouTube looked like, and that was like 19 years ago. So you got that.
Oh God.
Yeah. And from your eyes, you're probably.
I'm old.
Yeah. So am I.
Oh.
But this is basically what it looked like. But over here is the story of it. So it says in February 2005, 3 former PayPal employees, Chad Hurley, Steve Chan, and Jawad Kareem, launched a YouTube website for publishing, sharing video files, which, the first video, called Me at the Zoo, was uploaded to YouTube on 23rd April 2005 by one of the co-founders, Jawad Kareem. It was a short video from the San Diego Zoo in November 2006, which is towards the end of 2006. YouTube was purchased by Google for $1.65 billion. Now that today would seem like chump change, but back then, I highly doubt it.
Oh no, that's crazy money.
Oh yeah, but no, this is the one I remember. This is the YouTube I remember, because I remember distinctly that video right there, the Future Tire by Goodyear. Yeah, this is the YouTube I remember coming on to. But even then, it's still kind of off from where it is now. But no, I found this website by accident. It was just trying to look up what did YouTube look like at their like 11-year mark, whatever, comparison to where Rumble's at. But no, it's if anyone wants to take a look themselves, you can I'll just put the link in the chat for both ends. You can go there on YouTube side. There you go. You can go look at it yourself and make decisions. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to kind of show that what kind of found it. Used to be able to find anything YouTube for the. Well, I mean, that's probably when Google bought it and stuff, but that was over a period of time. But yeah, it's just interesting how things, and of course, I know, again, people complain a lot about certain things without understanding the what it takes to make something. So you said you've worked at a tax place. What other places have you done work with?
Yeah,
if you're allowed to say.
No, yeah, nothing, no security clearance shit or whatever. But I went from a tax firm to an architectural firm, became a network administrator. Then after that, I did a startup for a cancer research company in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we went bankrupt. After that, I went to this MSP, and that's kind of what I did a lot of work with Citrix and Heinz SketchUp, for instance. And Dick's Sporting Goods is another big client of theirs.
Ooh,
so
wow.
Yeah, their headquarters in Pittsburgh, right by the airport. So I was there on site for about 2 years there.
So was it loud?
No, it's their headquarters is so damn big, it's unbelievable. They have their own actual kitchen restaurant there for their employees to go eat, so you don't have to leave.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, but it does sound like prison.
Yeah, true. And you're out by the airport, so rush hour traffic getting home is a pain in the ass. Going out there's a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah. It almost reminds me of I can't remember when they built it, but the Apple had built it like their circle place.
Yeah.
It was in the works while Steve Jobs was alive, and then they kind
Yep.
of brought it into view. But they have a what is it? They have their own kitchen and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's
Yep.
pretty neat. And of course, we all saw what happened with Twitter X when Elon came in. He's like, oh, just get rid of it. It was sort of like it was sort of counterproductive of getting the job done, so to speak. But they've sort of moved on from that building to Texas because California is such a going down the drain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love crypto.
I was out in Cali for 6 years. I worked for an IPTV company,
Really?
and that's kind of where I got my background for like the operations center.
Oh,
But we went bankrupt. We got bought out by TiVo. You know TiVo, the
Yep.
recorders. Yeah,
yep. I remember that. TiVo.
their parent company bought us out. So
Is TiVo still a thing? Because it's
yeah, they actually they do IPTV for I think YouTube actually.
interesting.
What the
Because
hell? Oh, Xperia. That's it.
yeah, because I remember TiVo was just you could record. You didn't have to
Yep.
use a VHS anymore. You could use a thing to record your favorite show, and of course, you could set it and forget it, but record the commercials with it. So
Yeah.
really wasn't worth it. And nowadays, it's like, so there's a story. So of course, I use Brave as my browser, and of course, Brave is pretty good at blocking YouTube ads. And so I went camping with some of my family because we were going to some place for hey, Barb. We were going for nephew's birthday, and we were stopping at a KOA campground. Which, if you've never been to a KOA campground, they do have places for campers and tents, and they also have their own cabins. So we went to a rented a cabin, one of the cabins they had there, and of course it had cable in it. And so I hadn't watched anything with cable for ages, right? I had not, it costs money, and I don't have that kind of money. So let's, turn it on, watching like, was it like TBS, whatever. And I could not tell you how many times more commercials there were than there was a show.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Horrible.
I can watch more time stuff online than I can watch it on cable.
I mean, shit. I left there after we got bought out. I stayed at TiVo for 6 months to see if they would replace like the bosses that got us into trouble, but they kept them all. So
Oh.
I left. But I haven't got cable TV since because I was so sick of watching TVs. Like I was in we were in a horseshoe area with
Okay.
25 TVs with different channels playing 24/7, plus our tools that we were doing to make sure everything was up and running. I'm over TV outside of like football,
Right.
sports,
Oh, Pittsburgh, of course. Pittsburgh Steelers,
You know.
obviously.
That's what we do.
I found this one funny. I was watching a Rumble, but Rumble hurts my eyes, all those colors. and the majority of time people complain that there's not enough colors on Rumble.
Oh, if you're not playing with dark mode, you're crazy.
Yeah. I always have dark mode on because light mode is for
can't.
if you can't. Yeah, I can't. It's like trying to go back to watching cable. I don't think he has anything to do with that though. On a free service, meanwhile, they pay hundreds for 3 to 6 minutes of commercials with cable. That's true. Wait. Well, yeah, I would say probably hundreds a year, maybe. I don't know if or a month. I know some places they charge a lot per month. But yeah, and that's understandable. Again, there's a lot of tinkering and balancing and all that stuff because again, it's not perfect right off the bat. It definitely is not. You imagine how it was when what was it? ARPA? Was it ARPANET? ARPANET? I think that was like the pre-internet. When they were
Well,
first
like with the Navy, I think, or something like that, right?
yeah. Just imagine how that went when they were trying to build that. You probably couldn't imagine the test alone they did to even get to the point where it could be to the public. And nowadays we enjoy the product of all that R&D, which is basically research and development. And so nowadays we have what is basically instant gratification, right? Like 5G, fiber, which is still kind of king. I know Elon's doing the satellite stuff, but it's not, against the milliseconds, it's not that great, latency wise. And I don't have fiber, so dang. Too poor for that. But cable is still king until Elon is able to beat the millisecond latency
Yeah.
for that regard. And that would probably be well. But again, the internet. The current internet now is a product of all the R&D that went into ARPANET, which was ages ago. And I think for the technology, I think a lot of people ARPANET. That's right, ARPANET.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, the original was the internet built for the military. There we go. Okay, thank you for that. I was trying to say ARPANET, but it's ARPANET. Thank you. But I think a lot of people tend to forget how things got to where they be, and of course, they're gonna want things done now, right? You'll always see those complaints of why isn't this now, or why isn't it that now,
Yeah.
or whatever. And the reality of it is, there's a lot of so when someone had brought up the OSI, right? There's a lot of layers to that. There's
Yep.
transport layer, there's security. I can't remember all the. I know there was a transport layer, or
Session.
protocol session. There's a lot of. Okay, I'm gonna have to start looking up this.
Please do not throw sausage pizza away. That's all you need to remember.
But no, it's just like there's like 7 layers. There's like
Yep.
7 layers to the total amount, and especially when you're dealing with the internet, right? And of course, we all know back a while back, Rumble had the DDoS stuff, and that was probably a big mess for a bit. But it happens to all platforms,
Yeah.
YouTube's not an exemption. It's just it's built bigger to stand with it. And what does he say? These are kind of going first look with the internet as countries continue to ban sites. A new decentralized. The problem I have with the decentralized servers sort of thing. Oh, sorry, I'll bring that back up. Right there, new decentralized version will emerge. The problem I have with that is that the gatekeepers are not decentralized, right? Who do you get your internet through? Comcast, Spectrum. That's not decentral. That's a competition, but that's not decentralization. Why? Because people don't understand is that your government could just tell them, hey, this person over here, shut off their internet. Boop.
I mean, that's why we're not in France or Brazil right now.
Yeah. Obviously, X had its thing, but I think they kind of relented a bit for the Brazil one. Not sure about France, but the thing of it, the thing of that is while people talk about the decentralization of websites and servers and all stuff, they're forgetting the one key component that they aren't really talking about, and they really haven't resolved or solved, and that is the gatekeeper, the internet gatekeeper, the IP. Or no, what's the full term? IP. What's the thing? The internet's the ISP. Sorry, ISP.
Yeah.
They really haven't decentralized the ISP because companies own your ability to enter the internet.
Yeah, there's like 7 backbone companies that everyone
Yes.
gets their net from. At least in the US. There might be more overseas. They're probably different overseas, but yeah, there's 7 of them for sure.
Yeah. And just imagine, right? Just imagine that in one place where, say, Comcast exists, say France for Comcast. France tells Comcast, hey, there's a certain person over here. Yeah, just shut down their ISP. Boom. You don't think they won't do that?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
And so that's what gets me is when the discussion comes to that, because I know a lot of people talk about decentralization and all that stuff. They're forgetting the one thing that they're missing, and they don't seem to talk about, is that they're not decentralizing their ISPs, or they're not decentralizing the way people can connect to the internet. Because yes, you have Elon, but does Elon not have the ability to shut down somebody or shut down something? You're not free from somebody shutting you down. And that's where the trouble is with the internet, is they want decentralization, but they don't fully have decentralization.
Yeah, no, 100% right.
It's the same thing, and I know this will touch on the subject too. Is the same thing with free speech, right? People want free speech for their internet, but it's not truly free speech, because who are majority of people beholden to? Well, of course, you're using apps, right? So you're beholden to the apps of the app holders, phones, right? Hey, you're beholden to the app holders that hold the gatekeep to the phones, right?
Yep.
If you can't get, you could APK whatever it is to an Android phone, but you can't do that with an iOS, right? Not a lot of people are tech savvy for iOS, so they're not going to take that route.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that? Oh, we're going to play by the rules so that way we don't get kicked off. Or TVs, right? Like, I mean, you probably could. I don't know if they could shut you off that way, but you probably could.
Side loaded with a USB stick.
Why
Oh,
does
real
your
fun.
Why does your TV look like a wired mess? Look, guys, look. The government can't touch me anymore. Okay. Meshtastic is slow today, but something. Yeah, there is that. It's just a lot of talk about decentralization, but they aren't decentralized. They aren't truly decentralized because you can't decentralize the internet and the way to connect to it because they haven't talked about that yet. That's just from my perspective, though. So I apologize. But anyway, it is the top of the hour. And so what I do for that, if you've never seen before, what I do for that is usually there's another content creator, whatever, on, and I set aside some time for us to promote ourselves. But you're really more of the working in the business. I know you have
Yeah.
created.
Yeah, it's not serious. This is more fun.
Yeah, so I've only put your Twitter X up, but
Oh,
that's pretty much it.
that's fine.
So, but yeah, I'm just gonna do them from my end, because of course we don't have that. But I do thank you for coming on because it's real nice to just talk to somebody who knows about computer stuff where
Yeah,
I
no
don't know,
worries.
filling in those blanks that I don't understand. Of course, if you're on the Rumble side or the YouTube side, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, and now, if you didn't know, Rumble has repost. So instead of saying sharing, I say repost because Rumble has repost. So if you wouldn't mind liking or on Rumble reposting, leaving a like, comment, follow, any of that sort of thing. Because again, it's the engagement factor, right? So the engagement factor not only helps in me being seen, obviously, like all creators, but it also helps in having other people on, like Vent, like Local Vivian, like UB Legend, like so many other people, and I get to enjoy this opportunity, this possibility of getting to talk to people, regardless of what they're connected to or what they do. Just getting to have the ability to conversate with them across far distances. Like I've talked to somebody from Australia, which is like a 15-hour difference.
Yeah.
I've talked to people within the United States. Getting the opportunity to talk to people like yourself and so many others is the highlight because I didn't think I'd be here doing that. I didn't know where I would be when starting out doing this thing, which took me years to get to. So any help with engagement on either Rumble or YouTube is much appreciated because guys, there are so many more people coming this week, and of course, December is the holiday month, so it's going to be a bit iffy. I'm going to have the New Year's weekend off and the Christmas weekend off. So, yeah, I don't rely on this for payment, so don't worry. But yes, any help with the engagement, then it's much appreciated. Of course, if you want to see where else I'm at, there's a link down below. Go there, you'll find my stuff. If you want to be able to come on, look, best way to communicate to me is either through the email or my Twitter X. I do have a Discord thing, but I don't use it very much for anything else other than DMing because I've seen a lot of content creators make servers and stuff, and I've also heard horror stories, so I'm not really going to go into that. But I did build a community thing on Twitter X, so that's more of just like a hub. But yeah, you can find my stuff down there, and again, any help with engagement factor is much appreciated. So thank you for that, guys. I know it's been a bit of a rocky. You support your favorite creators from the app. Google takes 30. Yeah, yes. Well, the thing of it is not only does Google take its cut, but Rumble take its cut. So that's a 50% cut right there. And that's one of the troubles with the App Store too, is that they will take their cut and lose less out on. But I mean, that's it, and you know what the funniest thing is? Google owns YouTube. So does that mean in the app they take more than 30%?
Yeah, they're paying themselves.
Are they still showing favoritism at that point? Oh goodness. I can't but no, yeah, it's been it's this crazy thing where I didn't think it'd be much, and yet I find myself at a precipice where like why isn't much else doing it? And I've run across people who run shows where they invite people on, which is great. I think there should be more of it. I know people talk about like the entertainment industry or the gaming industry or whatnot. At the end of the day, though, those companies have one one goal in mind. Every company has one goal in mind: profit, because you can't survive without it. Right?
Exactly.
No profit means no company. So how do you take control in the stance of the when you go to say like the woke Hollywood or whatever you want to call it, or the gaming? How do you take control of that? Here's my money, goes right back in my pocket.
Exactly.
And that's the easiest way you can do it. I know some people are like, well, I've got to do it. Well, that's fine. I mean, you can mock whatever, but if you're still giving them attention and money, I mean, do you really think you're making changes much? I don't know. There's some that do, and it has, but then there's some that's not. And it's just like I don't know what you're going for, and that's where the whole monetization part is. Because I remember after Twitter X had been bought by Elon, they then started monetizing posts, and you kept seeing bait posts after bait posts after all these posts are just like people. What is it? If how do you like your steak? How do you like your steak? Well done or medium or rare? And all this stuff. I was like, what is with all these questions? You don't care about the answer. You just care about getting the engagement. It's like, just what the hell? I have big hopes for Rumble HODL mode. What's HODL? I don't know what that means. HODL mode. I have big hopes for Rumble. I don't know what that. I don't know what HODL means.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah. See, you're talking to a tech person who probably doesn't know that, and you're talking to a non-tech person who doesn't know that either. I'd like some answers in that regard. But yeah, it's just it's a fascinating retrospect to kind of sit down and just Bitcoin. Oh, he means Bitcoin.
Oh, the payments possibly.
Yeah.
I think Chris mentioned that.
Yeah, the Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin Treasury, whatever that thing is. I don't know crypto very much. I did invest in a bit of it, but yeah,
I'm terrible. I'm that old school mentality where if I can't touch it, it's not real to me.
Well, and that's
But
funny
it's
thing.
obviously I'm wrong.
We'll just take that aspect, right? So this is a thought I had of money for a long time, is that a lot of our money, our fiat money, right, which it is, it
Yep.
doesn't matter what country you're in, all of it's based on either it's filled by something like the gold standard, right, the US, the gold standard, or you have other countries that have something behind it as well. The problem with is, though, what gave them their worth, right? What gave gold its worth? What gave a diamond its worth? What gave silver its worth? Well, we did, right?
Yep.
How did we judge what a thing is worth, like silver or gold or sapphires or whatever? How did we judge that worth? You can touch it, have a big oh, that's that, as Will Smith would say, that's hot. That's hot. But yeah, for me, the value of things is very perspectual, because we view different things. We view value in different ways, right? Like there's sentimental value, right? Like you've gotten something from your parents or a sibling or whatever, generated by energy. Yes, but those math and energy. Yes, but that's not. I mean, it's still a financial backing, though, is what you're making it into, which isn't very much. Or on the belief scale. But like, yeah, going back to the whole belief thing, pretty much all of our fiat right now is based on belief, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yep.
Because we believe it has value. Other countries believe it has value, and so we play in the aspect that it has value. But then you get into stuff like sentimental value, right? Now that's a different kind of value, but it's still within the line of, I can't remember who I had on, but we were talking about, it was Jack Tarlett. We were talking about, to say, let's say he had a guitar, right? And he wanted to pass it on to his kid. The question would be is the sentimental value that he had for it the same going to be for the child he passes on to? Well, that's kind of hard to answer because we don't know.
Yeah.
That's very hard unknown. And in the US, we can get bank accounts, but in other countries, they basically can't until Bitcoin. So like, yeah, some countries are banned from using like PayPal or something like that. I think. But yeah, it was just a thought. Like sentimental value is not the same for one person as the other. So the item that you pass on, and eventually an item dissolves. It gets damaged and it no longer gets fixed, or like a computer part, right? Like
Yep.
When you change out, say, a video card, do you keep that video card or do you recycle it or do you just toss it in the trash? Right? You don't keep that for sentimental value. It's like, oh, this 490. Oh, it was so
My
precious to me.
baby.
Yeah, it's a little hot. It gets a little steamy, but it works so well. Um, but you still have this. You still have this thing where the value is only determined by the person, and the person changes for the value of the item. Right? Again, we can grow diamonds in a lab now.
Yep.
And it's not too hard to, because what is a diamond? It's just carbon, high heat, high pressure. Boom, diamond. They make diamonds out of your aunt's ashes. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's
No.
a
No.
real
It's crazy.
it's a real thing. They're like, whoa, 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 you're wearing your aunt to your wedding? I'm gonna put the brakes on that one. I don't know about that. That gets a little weird, but yeah, and that one got me. I was like, wait a second, you're making your beloved and your beloved one into a diamond, and you're gonna wear that? Where does this end?
Yeah. It's a little much.
That's a little weird for me, but again, we can now create diamonds, and diamonds used to be a usable value thing, but now it's gold still has its value, silver has its value. The biggest thing would there's another thing aspect of like batteries, right? Lithium batteries. It- I'm getting a little tongue twisted here, but at the end of the day, a lot of our things are value perceived. What is he saying now?
Oh.
Imagine Canada and your bank account gets frozen because you give. Yeah, oh yeah, the truck driver one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PayPal. I think Indiegogo, or what was it? It was Indiegogo.
Patreon.
Patreon, yeah, that too. Patreon, oh goodness, Patreon. But yeah, value is perceived by the individual on what's based, but it also can be transferred over by saying the environment, right? What you live with. People you view the $1 bill of the USD as $1 bill because you've grown up with it, you've been told it, all this stuff. But is it by the books? Is it truly worth $1? Right? They say the penny, right, was worth a cent, worth 1 penny. But the actuality of it is that to print a penny and all that stuff, it takes I think about a penny and a half
to make one, produce one.
yeah. Yeah, so that becomes, what is the actual dollar worth? What is
Yeah.
and of course people can put up that Bitcoin would mean, well, 1 equals 1, right? Well, but the value still rises and it still falls. So that one that was once $10 is no longer 10, it's now $100. Or if it
Yep.
goes down, it could be 5. So value is still perceived by the individual what the worth is. And a copper worth 3 cents. Okay, I was off. I was off by another penny and a half. But that's just how much it's worth is 3 cents. So 1 penny equals 3 cents to all that stuff. And of course, then he says free speech needs censorship resistant money as well. Well, that's true, but it just needs it needs resistance all around it. So think of it like a bubble, if you will. The bubble's very fragile, right? You've seen you blow a bubble, you've seen people be covered in a bubble. They do that huge hula hoop thing. It's a bubble. Free speech is a bubble. And the bubble can be popped at any time. It gets poked, it gets prodded by different aspects. Freedom itself has to be resistant, whether it be online, whether it be in person, all this stuff. Well, mostly online because that's what we're dealing with. But it's not really, because, again, you have many factors that show it's not truly resistant. It's still, you could still be cut out on the ISP level. You could still be cut on the website domain server level. You could still be cut out at certain aspects. There's such a wide array for someone to get cut out for the free speech factor. It's insane. It's insane. But yeah. Well, those are my thoughts. I apologize.
You're all good, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I didn't bring here to step on my soapbox, but
You're all good.
What may I ask? Was that part of the reason why you joined Rumble 2 was for the free speech aspect, or was it the ideal of what Rumble is?
It was more the ideal of like what they were trying to build or trying to build currently.
Mhm.
That's always that's intriguing to me. It's like I left a really safe job to come here, which was really difficult because my boss, my other place, love him. Like
Yeah.
I owe a lot of my career to him because he helped me grow so much of my certs and learning shit.
Wow.
So coming here was a tough decision,
Mhm.
but he agreed. Like my boss is like, you got to take the chance.
Yeah.
You know, you got to go for it because it could be big, it could not be. Who knows? But the
Yeah.
way it's going, it seemed like I made a smart decision.
Yeah. And definitely, I'm definitely not a future seer. I just know that it's always got to be trying something to get, and of course, big names will always be something. It's a mystery. It's a box that takes a lot of keys.
Yep.
It's not just one key that takes care of everything. It's a lot of keys, and they don't look the same. There's one that looks like a moon. There's one that looks like a sun. That one that looked like someone's left shoe. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Um, but yeah, I to kind of add on to that, I've stuck in Rumble. I've done more rants and membership stuff through Rumble because I believe in the possibility of its future. Right? You're always building people, not and it's not business. It's also people too. Right? They build to the potential of the future. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how old you are, you build to the potential of the future. Same way Rumble's doing it too. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of road bumps along the way. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it's all perfect and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
But and not kiss but either because no one likes a brown eye. But oh, there you go. Thank you, Adam, for that. I appreciate that. But there's also has to be understanding that there is a future potential in the waiting. So there's a difference. It's the difference between kinetic energy and potential energy. Very two different energies you kind of learn in physics. Although that's mostly because I remember from a game called Gizmo and Gadgets, which was like way back in the day. But there's a potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy is energy in waiting, right? It's that energy about ready to go, and kinetic energy is that energy that's going. It's
Yeah, that swing,
yeah,
the metal
it's
balls or whatever.
yeah, it's the difference between static and dynamic, right? Static is and dynamic is moves all around. So that's what I believe in. I believe in the potential that waits. It's building up to there. I know people want a exactness to YouTube, but as we just seen, YouTube didn't happen overnight, and there's always going to be something to harp on. But like that's been stated before, no, not just saying UI sucks does not help solve the issue. Giving as best detailed as you can, right? Because not everyone knows how to give detail. Giving best detail as you can helps in resolving the problem because again, you're dealing with people who are problem solvers at some point,
Yeah.
right? I almost feel like you guys have to be not you, but I feel like some of support has to be like a therapist at one point because it's like this. I gotta walk.
Well, I feel bad for him too. Like when I was doing like help desk stuff, like first level troubleshooting, like my thing was always like go to the person and say, "Show me.
Mhm.
You're telling me this isn't working. Show me. I just want to see."
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys don't get that opportunity, so they got to guess a lot, and they can't get the right answers from them immediately, and everyone gets frustrated. They get mad. Oh, you're not fixing. You're not listening to my problem. Well, what is your problem? Tell me. Show me. Oh, did I lose volume again? I can't hear you, Dar. No, mine's looking good. Like your icon isn't even lighting up if you're talking. Oh,
I accidentally put myself on mute.
All right. Now we're even. 1-1.
I was like, what the heck's going on here? And then I see because my thing has a steady light and a blinking light, and it was blinking. I was like, I don't know when I did that. Oh, your image froze again, by the way.
Oh, God damn it. Oh my god.
This, you know what? This is probably one of the best nights ever. Innocent this time too. Yeah, he's right. He's innocent this time. Don't worry. There, he's back.
All right.
He's back. Oh my gosh! You know, this is probably one of the funniest times ever. Goodness. We'll be good taking this on the road show this time with
Yeah,
the comedy.
tech guy always having tech problems. You gotta love it. I'm sure
Tom-
glad I got all those certifications, you know.
Here's a certification. Here's a certification. Everyone gets a certification.
Oh man.
I don't know what to do with this. Don't worry about it. Just take it. It's all yours.
Goodness.
And then people later be like, you know, I saw you that one time with that one guy. I think we need to reconsider. What? It's in my certification. The certification's right here. What's wrong? No, that's just it's too fun. It's too much fun. That's when stuff goes wrong, you gotta laugh at it because otherwise
Oh, of
you're kind
course.
of like it's whatever, or you get frustrated at it, and I can understand it. Too, so. But no, and again, like I was saying before, that's what I'm trying to do with my Rumble Square, and and again, I don't like I was saying before. I'm trying. With that. I'm trying to bridge the gap because I do want to. You know, I want to cut past that. I want to try to make it more positive forward thinking because I know there's a lot of frustrated, angry people out there who just want to see Rumble crumble to the ground. And I can kind of get their side a bit because they've been burned to some degree. But at the end of the day, though, there's a better way of going about things. And anger really doesn't resolve. Anger can go around on either end, right? It could be on the Rumble side, you know, people frustrated and whatnot, and it could also be on the user side as well. And I'm trying to cut past it because, and I don't know if I can bring it up or not. Because no, I don't want to do that one. Because I don't know. Do you know about Proton? Have you heard about Proton?
The email?
Well, there's Proton Mail, there's Proton VPN. The Proton suite is basically what it is. And so with Proton, I pay for it yearly, so I have that. 1 second. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to the wrong section. Because I wanted to show something, but I think I downloaded the file. So let me try to find that file. Where did I have it? Documents. Yes. Ah, here we are. Okay. Open. Yeah, I'm gonna shut that down. Okay, just 1 second. Open file. No, I just open it. Yeah. Bye. You're getting my nerves. Okay. So just wanted to show my end of what I did for the first round of it, so you kind of get an idea what I was trying to aim for.
Okay.
And so this is the window right here. This, okay, you can see it. Okay, so this was what I was trying to do, and it's basic, right? You can look at it, you can see that it's very basic in the data collection. So this is sort of, and I used Claude to kind of help with trying to figure out something. But this is sort of the there's a with Claude's help, I by accident was a system was FIPS, which is featured something, issue, positivity, and suggestion is what FIPS is. That's what Claude and I kind of came up with this. But anyway, this is kind of playing into it. So you see the positive. This is sort of like the positivity thing. This is sort of the in-depth. The one I gave on Twitter X was sort of a simplified, but this is the positivity thing. And then of course there was a platform issue stuff. But I know this is not very in depth for what they need. They probably need more than this. But this is just kind of the basic data of what I took down for trying to find that bridge, basically, which I know isn't good, but it's getting. So there's stuff here. Of course, thanks to Mr. R for typing this down because he kind of had dealing with company stuff like this. So there's platform issues. This is from the last one. Platform issues. There was wanted top feature. All this stuff. And again, I know you don't deal with that. I'm just trying to show you of what I was trying to do to try to get the idea across of what I'm actually trying to and data collection.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah, and of course there's this extra bit right here: wanted features, needs, better RS feed or an RS feed, and certain stuff here and there. So basically, this is what I was trying to do on the whole for was trying to get down this basic form, grounds level feedback. I think is what it would be called. Um, can you see it all right, or do I need to zoom in?
No, you're good. Yep.
Okay, so this is what I was trying to do. This is the first bit of it, and it might change for the next one just to kind of get more in depth because of like you don't really see like lack of developed tools. Okay, so what are you talking about? That sort of stuff. Um, and but this is as deep as it gets for right now. I do want to try more, but that's where I don't have any connection. I don't have any affiliation with Rumble. I don't have any in depth, but to get to talk to people like you and say, okay, so from your perspective, IT, how could I? What would be a best way of bettering so that I can get that correct information to you, per se, or what you can look at this and see this. Okay, maybe this doesn't work, or this works, or whatever, and trying to get okay. So what do you mean by that? So that sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I mean like that. Rick would have I don't know what their roadmap looks like,
mm,
but Rick would have a good idea. There might be a lot of this stuff might be
on there,
in
yeah.
in work, in
Mm,
progress, basically.
mhm.
But maybe for some other things, like for instance, if you go up a little bit,
Oh, sorry, I have to. I'm on the. So just tell me when to stop.
go up. Okay, like right here, stop with Steven. Like static
Steven,
key. Yeah,
issue.
static key issues. Like what are the issues?
Mhm.
It's just like a little bit more clarity on.
Yeah. Yes, and that's exactly where that's exactly where getting that feedback, someone for who's done in the IT sort of thing, to kind of better help and how to get so more. So instead of being a general statement, it's more of okay. So what about static key issues are you having? Is it
Yeah, is it?
yeah,
I couldn't connect, or I was getting disconnected.
yeah,
Things like that.
yeah. And no, that's great because then I could take that and say, okay, so this is the more in depth I have to go. Um, and just the format aspect of it, does that would you say that would from your perspective in dealing with the tech stuff, would you say this aspect of format is okay, or would there be something I need to improve on that?
No, I think that's fine. Everything's blocked off.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
no,
running on. Yeah, so I think it's digestible.
yeah, no, and I greatly appreciate that because again, I my my understanding is limited to a degree, and so but again, this is me trying to take that simple basic format and trying to make a more positive forward motion to it because again there's a lot of negativity out there and obviously I'm on the creator user end, so that's all I'm going to see. I'm not going to see what you guys see or whatever, but I took that off. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with that, again trying to give also other people in the chat a visual basis of what I'm trying to do. And so that will kind of change a bit to give more in depth of data, because that's basically at the end of the day is just data, feedback data, ones and zero. The, we can say everything starts at binary, ones and zeros,
Yep.
but everything starts with electricity. That's where if people don't know, if you have no electricity, then there's no point in having a computer.
Right. Paperweight.
Wow, I didn't know that. What was it that? What was that Dell Gateway? Like the cow thing? Dell used to have the Dell
Oh
Gateway
my
thing.
god,
Cow.
yeah.
It's like, wow, that Dell Gateway looks like a good Pip-Boy. I know, right? Yeah, and of course, a lot of lives competition is great for creators, of course. That's why I do multi-stream platforming. Rumble offering 100% subs wouldn't be necessary if they were the only network. That's true. That is true. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring up the visual because again, we all human beings are more visual than auditorial, right?
Yep.
We're more visual, so you have to show us, and that's what I'm trying to do more. And describing to you earlier, I was trying to give more pictures, like earlier and during the show where the count was messing up and all stuff. I took pictures of that to show the different discrepancy. Of course, you hear, so you already saw that, so you know. But I still took pictures of that because there was I don't think I finished it, but yesterday I was on someone's stream through Rumble Studio, and I was a guest. So as a guest, you get the private, you get to be able to chat and all that stuff. But the thing of it was is that I couldn't chat to the other platforms because I do
Yeah.
have a Rumble, I do have a YouTube. Just the ones even the ones I have connection to, I couldn't chat to. I was stuck to private. So what I did was I took pictures of that, giving it to support, saying, "Hey, support, I'm not sure how this thing works. Are guests not allowed to chat out to these platforms? How's it go?" Because I don't specifically know how it works for StreamYard and stuff. Um, I know again there's EV Max, there's all these other ones, but I can't remember. I haven't used it in a while. But to be able for someone who doesn't to be able to chat or have that chat seen by others out there, how does it work? What's the because again, Rumble Studio is still building, still getting
Yeah.
better. So having those clarifications are great. But I'm showing a visual during that time too. I'm showing this is what will happen, this is what I'm doing. Because again, I'm learning how to better my process too in order to help maybe not you exactly, but them
Yeah.
support and all that stuff. Because I want to what's the word? I want for saying grease the wheels, right? I want to grease the wheels a bit to help make this process. Because again, I understand the frustration, but frustration puts everyone off in order to not to do a better job. We can smooth the wheels a bit. We can help people do a better job, and that positivity can go a long way. I'm not saying kiss butt. I'm just saying, hey, I see this thing. I'm trying to give you as much detail as possible. Take this puzzle, and I hope this is enough. If you need any more, Um, oh, here's a question for you. I don't know if you want to answer that or not. That's up to you.
Uh. Oh no, it don't bother me. I'm an asshole, so you gotta say some really foul thing to really trigger me.
Yeah.
And it's only a handful of my real life friends that would know that. So
No, and that's great because I again we're dealing with at the end of the day we're dealing with people who at one side are trying to create something that they believe is going to be going to be great. They believe in the I don't know if it's the ideology, but they believe in the mission statement. They believe in and the possible future that's to come. They want to bring this up. Um, but there's also the other side too with the users and creators. So there's going to be a disparity. I used to work at a nonprofit organization. I don't know if I could say their name or not because I don't want to. But there would always be this disparity between the admin office and those who would say work at custodial or down below that. I used to work custodial for this place, 8.5 years. So I've seen some crap, and that's
yeah.
literally. You want to talk about somebody who's seen some crap? I've seen some crap in literal sense. Um, but there is that disparity, right? There's a disparity between the admin office and the people who are they work at the membership desk, they work at the custodial area, they work in the babysitting, all this stuff. There's that disparity unless you are friendly with them in some manner, the favoritism side, but that's far and few in between. But there's always going to be that disparity because again, you're dealing with higher up stuff versus at the location stuff, right? Maintenance and all that stuff. And I understand that's a everywhere thing. It's not just one place; it's an everywhere thing. There's I'm sure you've seen with many businesses you worked at. There's been stuff you've seen that just like doesn't make sense to you, or you've sort of questioned your own sanity, which I think I do at sometimes.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
just, just what the hell's going on here? But there's also has to be a personal understanding that look, you may not be up there, but you try your best to make things great as you go, and then you take the lessons you learn from that, and whatever job you go for, like the many jobs you've gone through, you kind of take those lessons along. Because I'll tell you this: for as much as what I do with the conversational aspect, and then Darachat is one-on-one conversational, and then Dara's Hangout Den is mostly bringing people together who've been on as guests, that sort of thing, and then Rumble Squared is sort of doing this data collection at the ground floor sort of thing of creators and users or people because I do stream to YouTube as well, right? So you do have that aspect too and streaming out there. I'm doing all these things and I'm learning stuff as I go, and I have no experience in any of this. I have no certification. I have no college degree, and yet there's opportunity there that
Yeah.
I can take. I can take not in a selfish way, but I could take and learn for myself. And that's the thing. I think people not sometimes not to a fault their own, but I think there's some people who don't understand. There's opportunity almost everywhere. There's opportunity
Absolutely.
for whatever you want to go for, and it's. I mean, think of it this way: the internet, biggest academia ever that you're ever connected to. Phone, PC, laptop, all this stuff. You against your ancestors who had to walk to school, who had to read a book, who had to go to a library and what was it, those little card things they had to search for.
Yeah.
You are connected to the biggest academia ever known to even your grandparents. And every day someone still complains it's not enough. Dear Lord. Dear it'll sorry. It'll never be enough because people always hunger for more. Elon hungers to go to Mars. And yet he's taking the steps to get there, but he's still hungry to go to Mars. But yeah, even with the internet of this instant gratification thing, it'll never be enough. And it's not to speak against people who bring up real issues or real problems. That's understandable. But people were worried about, yeah, there's that too, right? The AI section. People worried about AI taking jobs, but when horses went away, the people who scoop poop didn't lose their job. Exactly. Right? It's the whole thing. There used to be people who would knock on your door to wake you up, right? They'd be your alarm clock. Now they sweep. Now they sweep human poop in California. That's true. Or they make an app for it.
Oh, it's so true. San Francisco. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, that I saw that the app for that. But no, that's true, right? Blacksmiths aren't as much a thing anymore. They're still there, but they're not much of a thing. Candlestick makers aren't much of a thing anymore. Um, uh, you know, carriages or what do they used to call them? Buggies
Yeah.
are not much of a thing anymore. They are for the Amish, but that's a different subject. But you see a lot of these things where, as technology advanced, people did lose their jobs, but people also adapted to the jobs that came with it. Opportunity is there if you want it. It's just you have to know where to look, and sometimes you have to be the opportunity that's presented to, right? Like I'm not speaking from some high experience. I'm not gonna sit here and preach to you. All right, I'm just telling you from my perspective to go out there to look at these other creators, right? And they usually invite other creators on their shows, which is understandable to a degree. But to have people on who aren't creators, who are VTubers in a sense, right? People who use an avatar, or whatever, to be able to bring them on and chat with them, that's an opportunity right there. I can go to Twitter. Twitter X is where I mostly go. That's where I met you from there. I go there. That's where I mostly do my communication from. I can't tell you how many DMs I have. It's too much. It's too much. I probably have over 100 different DMs right now. I was like, oh Lord.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
And then at live searches, blacksmith utilize CNC and laser cutting. Exactly. There's opportunity in the new tech. It's just how do you appropriate that to what you have now? And it's not trying to speak against people. It's trying to say there's opportunity. There's options. Opportunity, there's options there. So in the what was it? In the book The Art of the Deal, right? I don't know if you've ever read or not the book itself. But it's, Trump talks about his day. First he sets out throughout his day for the week, and then he kind of goes into how he got to where he's, his dad, how his dad started, then I go from that point on. But that towards the end, he gives like think big. One of the things he talks about is think big, right? And one of the um, stories he talks about is when he was in like Atlantic City, which is where the gambling stuff and all this at.
Yep.
So he was talking about how he was. I apologize, I'm not gonna get this fully right, but he was talking about how he was trying to get a loan from a bank, and so there's this thing he did is he didn't have his place built up right away. It was still in progress, but he was trying to get trying to get that loan. So what he did is he told his guys who were at that ground area, it's like, I don't care what you do, just look busy. Do whatever you have to do, look busy. So so the bank people come and they're looking around the place and they're seeing, and there was one guy who made a observation, like there's this forklift bringing from one spot over here to another spot and doing it back again. And it's just like all this stuff. But you wouldn't think of that. You would think like, well, that sounds insane. And yet it worked. He got the loan for it. And it was just
Yeah.
like, who is this guy? and so there's that thing where there's think big, there's opportunity options. People limit their options. And sometimes it's great, it's understandable, right? Because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. But it also limits your abilities. Like you could just get fired from your job, right?
Yeah.
So, you don't want to seem like a whore that'll take any job, but at a time of need, you'll take a job that's available. And from there, there's always something to learn. Always something to learn, even if you don't believe so. Like for here, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. Right? I started with using StreamYards. I pre-recorded because they allow you to pre-record. Didn't use it to live stream though, because they charge you for going beyond one place. What am I gonna do with that? When I went to streaming, I moved on to OBS. Right? OBS is a multi-plugin for free, right? It's all for free, but it's very resource intense on your computer. That's the issue, is it's resource intense on your computer. So I did that for a while. I did the whole aspect, and then when Rumble came out with this thing, and like I think Rumble Studio came out in beta last November, I think it was.
I think
around
so.
that time. When they were saying, "Hey, would you like to sign up for this not a wish list. What do they call that? Wait list. That's right, wait list. You could sign up for this wait list and so on and so forth. And I think it was like the 4th or 5th wave of people being allowed to use the beta, and I've been using it ever since. A lot of hiccups, a lot of issues, just like we had today, but they're improving over time. And the beta of Rumble Studio is not the beta or is not of the Rumble Studio of today, right?
Right.
It's changed a lot. There's a chat in there, the campaign stuff and all that. There's a whole lot of things that came with that aspect over a period of time, and in a year's time too, right? Just think about that. It was probably in alpha testing for ages, but once it came to beta and people got into it, over a year's time, bam, ad campaigns, chat added to it, all this stuff. There's still issues, bam, 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 stuff was added to it. A year's time. You imagine back in the day of when YouTube started, right? 2005, 2006. That wasn't the case, right? And for me, from my perspective, right, just my perspective, there is no other platform I see who has their own video. What would you call that? What do you call StreamYard? It's a video, on a browser streaming thing. I don't know what the technical term is. That
Yeah, see, I'm not sure what the actual
name is. Yeah.
because like Rebel Studio was Callin. We
Yes.
acquired Callin. So
Yes.
they were just like a podcast call center, basically, like a Zoom, basically.
Yeah.
But now we had to integrate all of our streaming abilities into it. So that's why you're gonna see hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
But like it's like OBS but browser.
Yeah. Now, of
Kinda.
course, well, yeah, because OBS, there's a lot more custom ability.
Yeah.
I know that's what a lot of people ask for. Cloud broadcasting software. Okay, there you go. That's the name. Cloud broadcasting software. Okay, that.
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for that. I now CBS. Dang it! Can't get away from them. But CBS for cloud broadcasting software. Okay, so the cloud broadcasting software, StreamYard, EVMux, and all that, it's come a long way. But Rumble appears to be the only platform that has their own cloud broadcasting software. Twitch has something, but it's more for their platform, right? YouTube has their own, but it's only for their platform.
Yeah.
I've not seen anyone else. While people complain on certain aspects and choices and things that Rumble does, for them to acquire their own broadcasting software, and you don't see it in any other platform, that feels like to me a golden egg right there. Yeah, I know people say rack, people say cloud, but for me, the broadcasting software on for Rumble to have and anyone around them doesn't seem to have their own. It's incredible.
I mean, Chris talks about it all the time. We want to make it to where we can't be canceled by anyone.
Right.
So, like, that if we have the equipment, the tools for the people, they can't stop us.
Right. Well, and think of it this way. When you go to these other places, right? Now I know there's free ones. You got OBS, like I just named, and there's probably one or two out there. But say you go to StreamYard, right? And a while ago they just upped the price.
Yep.
Right. You have to pay to go beyond a certain. For their free one, you can only go up to a certain a time period, and you can only go to like maybe one place, right? I think it's been a while. EV Max, you can only do 2 hours of streaming, and you probably can go up to 2 different places, as far as I know. But that's it. You have to pay to go beyond that. Rumble Studio provides you more than that. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I've had my frustrations and complaints. But I've also found a way of saying, okay, I have these issues. So how's the best way to what's the word? Not relate. Translate that. How's the best way to translate that so it can get to the right people? Not only that, but I can get that. Okay, here's my issue and show visually and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there was a certain point where you could email Alex, because I know Alex Erickson directly, but they don't do that anymore, which is good. But yeah, it's gonna get there, but I don't know if I'd ever see it as being as OBS style as say EV Max, which is just like, if you've ever seen EV Max, it's crazy. If you ever get an opportunity, just to take a look, because there's a lot of things. Again, there's a lot of opportunity to learn from other different places and kind of add bits and pieces of your own. But again, it also runs into like all this stuff and live app. As an investor, what I'm hearing from you is they need to charge more. Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, they did have that, but I think they want all feedback running through support at Rumble.
Oh, they still have it on the
website.
Yeah.
Because I know they do that as well. But I was and it's not a frustration. It's more like a question of why, and it's not against you, so I apologize.
No, you're good.
My issue is Rumble does not have that on their own website, a place where you can go give feedback. Right? You can email support. That's understandable. But look at it this way. When people have issues, they go to Twitter X, right? They go put it on blast there. There's not really a way to go to Rumble itself and say, okay, here's the bug place or whatever, and put it through there and have people. They're giving traffic to Twitter X rather than to themselves on that regard. And yes, YouTube has their own thing, but people can't get things done because YouTube is YouTube and all that stuff. But Rumble doesn't have a place on their website where they can have people go and give feedback straight on the website rather than email, right? And I understand there's technical, the technicals abounding. That was just one of my things where like they're giving all this traffic to Twitter X and they're not giving it to themselves. And it's not an anger thing. It's more like a question of why thing. And it could be as simple as, well, we don't have the capabilities to do that now, or we could run into trouble where a whole bunch of stuff, right? There's so many variables, it's crazy. But it for me, it just seemed weird that they wouldn't want that traffic coming to their website rather than someone else's website, which is what X, formerly Twitter, whatever you will call it, is. So there's that. But yeah, that's just one thing. Because if you were to go to YouTube now, I think they have some place on the website. But again, it's comparing an apple to a peanut at this point, because of resources and stuff. But that's just something I wanted to bring up for everyone who hears that it just didn't seem like they have their own thing on their website, which would be a great thing. But there may be things where that's, again, I only understand one side of the coin. I'm not part of the other side, so don't get me wrong in that. Twitter engagement helps. Yeah, and that's understandable too, but it again, it's the traffic stuff, right? They want traffic to come to their website, right? Because traffic, not only betters them find the data needed to improve their site, but it also betters in, hey, we're getting all this stuff traffic wise. But I can understand again. Sometimes you need multiple outlets for all this stuff, but still, just just from my perspective. But no, if you are willing to be reasonable, willing to be um, detailed enough in that sense. Um, so far, I've not had issues with support. Anything I've brought up, say I've had issues with the one time it was the chat, YouTube chat wasn't showing up in Rumble Studio. I took pictures of it. I underlined all this stuff. I take it to them, said we're working on it. Positive experience, right? Positive experience. I was angry at him. I was frustrated, but I wasn't angry at him. Kind of use Claude to help kind of translate that and how the best way to say it. Boom, done. And I got a either neutral or positive response. I don't know, but it wasn't like they weren't replying back, and all stuff. And then Live Search says there's probably needs to be a Twitter community help community, maybe. But I do remember the story of what happened when they tried to run their own Discord, so that might be something that they would feel probably end up the same way.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be us. We wouldn't. Yeah, we wouldn't do that just because.
Mm. I've heard bits and pieces of that story, so it kind of sucks when people just forget to be decent for once and they just want the thing now. You know what it reminds me of? Veruca Salt. I want the whole world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was. I'm not saying people are spoiled. It's just that personality, that sort of frustrate. When people are angry and they just kind of like take it out on you.
Yep.
It sort of reminds me of where she wants all these things now. Um, and even for me, I kind of think we do, with all the technology we have, I think we kind of do live in a spoiled age where, when the C-19 or COVID happened, we didn't realize we before that happened, we didn't realize how far on the edge of a knife we live on, right? Like our supply chain is so fragile.
Yep.
Let's just put it this way: if a huge amount of truckers stop trucking, good luck.
Yeah, we might get shit.
And and the thing of it is when the C-19 happened stuff, a lot of stuff shut down. I don't believe in the government or whatever. Well, the point of the matter is we got to see how fragile our system is, and it still is fragile. And we haven't really done anything to strengthen it. And it's the most interesting and scariest thing ever. Is we are you can't I don't give a rat's behind. I don't give a rat's behind. I've had people on who said the bundle of sticks word, and I haven't been hit yet. Well, hopefully. But I don't care because I'm not gonna when I have people on, right? They always ask. I'm grateful that they ask. Okay, what words do you want me not to say? I say just don't say the big game words. That's all they ask. You can curse all you want. I don't care. My thing is that I am not with the multi-platform factor. Is I am not pertained to one platform, and that if I was just on YouTube, you're gonna see a lot of changing the words and stuff. But for me, go right ahead, curse. I don't care. Why? Because I'm not stuck to one platform. YouTube don't own me. Rumble don't own me too, but because I use more of the stuff, it's kind of hard to say that. But YouTube don't own me. One platform doesn't own my stuff. So what are they going to do to me? It's like being somebody who has what's that? FU money.
Yep.
Okay? Basically, I don't have FU money, but I have the FU money sort of ability. It was like, go ahead, YouTube. There was a funny thing. So I was doing one of my pay it forward streams, and I was going across somebody they were watching some kind of police takedown or whatever. Someone. It wasn't bloody or anything. I didn't seem like there were any gunshots. It was just a lot of people running, and police took down somebody and all this stuff. YouTube restricted me to 18 plus for that stream, whole stream. And I was like, and you know what the first thing was? So they sent me an email saying, or they didn't send me an email. I have the YouTube app, right? The YouTube Studio app. And so they sent a little thing right there, or YouTube Studio on YouTube, where they sent me this thing where it said, your stream has been restricted. Here's a timestamp for it, or whatever. And I looked at the timestamps, like, there's just people running away. There's not any violence going on. And so I looked down later the line and I saw a police takedown, right? It wasn't harsh. No one was bleeding or anything. They just took somebody down. I was like, YouTube, I appealed it and I said, YouTube, this the timestamp you gave me, there's nothing happening. People are just running away. But this timestamp over here, I sent an appeal. They sent me an email back. Guess what the timestamp was they sent me back with? 48:58. And the exact time that the police takedown happens is 49 minutes.
Jeez.
So I basically gave them where the thing was, trying to be helpful, right? It's like the timestamp you gave me is wrong, but this over here is probably what you're talking about, or whatever. And this still restricted 18 plus. I'm just like, what do you think you're gonna do to me? What?
So stupid.
and
Ugh.
and so like you saw the intro video, right? That's done by a creator called Pogo. His stuff is on YouTube, and there's a link down below if you want to check it out. Some of his stuff gets it still gets content ID'd. I don't get copyright strike. It just gets content ID'd because of the company he went through. TuneCore is the company. Some of it gets that, some of it doesn't. But the one song I end with gets copyright, every time content ID claimed. I don't get copyright strike, which is great, but it's sort of the thing was like, what? I enjoy his stuff. He says he's not going to copyright strike people who use his stuff as long as it's not malicious. And I'm still gonna keep doing it. But it's this weird thing was like people start on one platform, I get that. But when you give all your stuff to one platform, I don't understand you. You are in a technological time where you can use these things called cloud broadcasting software. And you can go to so many different places. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's another one that just came out now called Party, which is more crypto central, but whatever. And there's all these different platforms. Why are you restricting yourself to one place? If there's a mental capability, if there's a technological capability, those are understandable right off the bat. You can only handle so much. I've said that. You can only handle so much, so don't try to push yourself. I only do 2 places, even though there's so many, because I do have a full-time job. But at the end of the day, you're living in a technological time. Why would you restrict yourself? Oh, it's about the money and reach. Watch that. Why do you create content? Well, I have people I support. Well, great. There are so many options you can do with that. I mean, you don't have to, I watch Crowder a bit, and it's like, we try to limit the people we do the ad read for and all this stuff because we want to be supported by you. At the end of the day, it gets so it's this weird tilt where it's like you don't have to be on one platform anymore. And nothing against Rumble, it's just you are in a technological time where you don't have to be so limited. Be free on that regard. And Rumble Studio helps in that. And Live Search says, I already love Bitcoin. You don't have to convince me with your censorship story. I wasn't talking about Bitcoin, about that. Yeah, no, that's understandable. Party's going to push the competition to develop their crypto options as well. Yes, yeah, it is true. Because they do have Selenium? I don't. There's so many different crypto types. It's hilarious. But again, like you said, competition is good. Oh goodness. I apologize for talking so much. But anyway, it is the top of the hour again. And I think we'll end it there because I do have to not only set up tomorrow's stream, but I have to get up in the morning. So, seriously, Vent, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem at all, man.
I apologize for being the big talker here, but
oh, you're all good, dude.
But I'm glad I was able to get some of your insight because getting to talk to people like you who not only work technologically but kind of understand that side. Solana, that's right. I apologize, but not only get to understand that side is beyond helpful because I can help improve that, which also helps better for you guys or beyond that stage. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Appreciate you getting all the feedbacks. That will be helpful.
I'm trying to. I only had 40 people across both ends so far. Hopefully that will be more next time, but there are no promises with that. I can only get what I can get. But anyway, of course, his link, I just put this for Twitter X. So if you want to find where Vent's at, he says he's a bit of an a-hole, but if you're nice, I'm pretty sure he won't slap you. But anyway, his Twitter X link is down below. That's where you can find it. I think you said you just do your stuff on the side, the creator stuff.
Yeah, just fun. I get on, talk shit with friends.
yeah. There you go. See,
You
there
know,
you go.
nothing
He,
serious.
he enjoys it. There you go. But yeah, you can look out for his Rumble too. He only has a Rumble, so you can look at his stuff. But anyway, from my end of things, whether you're on the YouTube side or the Rumble side, if you wouldn't mind, leave a like, and of course now with Rumble's new thing, repost. So you can like, repost, follow, leave a follow, or leave a comment. Anything that helps with the engagement is much appreciated because not only does it help, yes, in me being seen more, but it also helps in having other people on, like Ben, like Local Vivian, like hold on, like UB Legend, like Silver Fox, like Lumpy Potato, who I've had on twice, like so many other people, create or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is people coming to the table, willing to have a conversation. Ugh. My nose is getting stuffy from talking too much. Um, from people coming to the table, having a conversation about whatever, and just having a great time out of it. Because I'll tell you what, the conversations I've got to had, I've talked to former and current military. I've talked to people in the tech field like yourself. I've talked to people who are in arts, who are in fiberworks, and so many other fields. Sometimes they don't even create at all, and that's fine. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what Darachat is, and I'm looking forward to so many other people this week as well. Again, any help with engagement, and of course, my links are down below. You can find me at different places. Thank you all so much for that. Before we go, uh, before we go tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will have on a gentleman who goes by the name of Price of Reason. He's a multi-streamer to Rumble as well, but he's got some well-known circles, so there's that. But he'll be on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. I've seen him around. Figured I'd try out, and he responded, so I'm going to get him on. Thank goodness, because it's nice talking to different people. But okay, and that's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Of course, one more thing is when I have a guest on, there's a thing I created a while ago. It's called Questions from a Hat. So I bought a hat from Rumble, of course, and I've put questions in it. So what this is sort of I put a bunch of different questions that anyone can answer, right? This isn't like philosophical deep, like what are the answers to the universe, whatever. What's your favorite hat to wear, something like that. So what happens is my guest gets 2 freebies, right? I'm not monetized on YouTube, so sorry guys, but on Rumble I'm monetized. So if you guys want to see more questions pulled out of the hat for event or any other guest, you have to give a rant, right? You get 2 freebies, and then the rest is paid for. So, and there've been a lot of generous people who've donated in the past, and I appreciate that. But for now, since no one's given a rant, I'm going to go for the first question, and I'm not looking. I am just putting my hand in there, just kind of dig around like I'm some kind of dog digging for a bone. Where are we at? There, here we go. Here's the first one, right here. All right, green. And the question is, oh gosh, dang it, post-it note stickiness. Okay. Question is, are you a morning person or a night owl?
More of a night owl.
Yeah.
My shift's 2 to midnight, and
Really?
before that I was overnight. So yeah, that's not a morning person. Not too happy.
Yeah, I have to wake up in the morning for my job. I've gotten used to it, but
What time do you got to get up?
I have to be up at 7.
Okay, that's not too bad.
7 a.m. Eastern. But yeah, I used to be. There was one point for the custodial job. I was waking up at like 3 something in the morning to be there. Yeah, because we didn't have any female staffer to clean the female locker rooms. So I had to be in before they opened, which was like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
I had to get in early enough to get in there. There was one point where I only had 1 hour of sleep, and I luckily enough I'm alive, but I lost a tire. I'd rather change the for the flat tire. So
shit.
it could have been worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's something I don't want to go into again. But yes, I would probably see myself more as a night owl. But That's mostly just when I don't have to work. But anyway, on to the second one. Get my hands in there. Let's see what else we can come up with. I think I've got. There we go. Here's a blue one. All right. And since no one is giving a rant, we'll leave it at this and post-it note tape. Hold on. Stuck in the wrong way. Ah. Okay. What is the question? The question is, what's the weirdest food combination you secretly love? Food
That I secretly love.
Yes.
Peanut butter and pickles.
Why is that?
I don't know. My one buddy always would eat that when we were kids. It's like this is back in like 3rd grade, so when we were like 6 or 7, whatever.
Wow.
And I tried it. It's actually good. I thought he was an idiot. Well, he still is an idiot, but you know, he was right about that though.
There was a show called That 70s Show, and there was a scene where they were doing the circle thing, and I don't know what started it, but Michael Kelso just started laughing like crazy, and people were asking, "Why are you doing this?" Like, I heard this funny word, and the word he heard was pickle weasel. And I just laugh every time I hear that because it's so absurd.
Right.
Pickle weasel, and that's just insane. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the show. Thank you all for coming. I know we had some issues at the beginning, but it seems like they smoothed themselves out a bit. So hopefully they'll be able to figure out what was going on. And again, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern with Price of Reason. And again, I for my guests, thank you so much for coming on. I hope the door is always open for another time, even though I know you're a busy guy. So hopefully you'll be able to come back on again because just like with Local Vivid, I really am here just to talk to people. And the side part that you work for Rumble or that she works for Locals is just a bonus to the canter. And it's not about, oh, never mind. Here we go. Got another one. Our best. I eat it every day. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, since Live Search did that, we'll pull another question out of the hat before we go. Here we go. Got a purple one.
All right.
All right. He did pay a rant, so there's that. Well, this goes with what I said earlier. What word makes you laugh every time you say it? What's a word you think that you've heard it or you say and it's like it just makes you laugh?
I want to say like douchebag, you know. Oh no, Live Search app for real. That's a 100% true story. Peanut butter pickle sandwiches.
Yeah.
I swear on everything.
Oh goodness, douchebag. That's an interesting one.
You know, it's such a white girl word. You know, it's just funny. You know, I don't know.
A white girl word.
Douchebag. Yeah, like that's strictly a white female word.
That's hilarious. The funny thing you call it a white girl word is hilarious.
Yeah, because like I never really, none of my my black friends like in the military or whatever ever used the word douchebag. I introduced it to a lot of them.
Oh, so you were a military too?
Air Force way back in the day.
Dear Lord, that's another one. I've talked to like a bunch of. There's been Marines, there's been Army, there's been Air Force. There's a before I go to the ones I've talked to, Air Conda TV is one from Air Force.
Yep, he's still active, I believe.
Yes, and then Lex Astro is one from Air Force 2. Lex Astro is a content creator on Rumble. He uses like the Apple emoji face.
Okay.
Thing. He's from Air Force. I can't remember who else. I do know Patty's Parlor Games is Marine. And then Sergeant Wilkie is Marine, I believe.
I think Die Bear was Army, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Die Bear. Yep, I can't forget her, even though I did forget her once. She was nice about it, but yeah, I've talked to a lot of you, and again, it's always interesting when you get that comes up in conversation. So there you go. Anyway, again, guys, I gotta get going because it's getting that point in time. But again, thank you so much for being on. The door's always open for next time, and I hope to be able to do this again with you because it's great. It's great.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me, brother. I wish you the best of luck, and feel free to
Thanks.
hit me up when you get the your list all together.
Yeah.
We'll get that sorted.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it because again, positive forward thinking. Because I'm not here to kiss butt, but I am certainly here to want to see something grow better. So the only way to grow better is to go through the rough stuff and come out. It's like the scene from what is it? Scene from Shawshank Redemption. Sometimes you have to go through 5 football fields of crap, get out the other side clean. So
yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, that's how we're gonna get better. We got to get your guys' feedback.
But anyway, for how I end out with the show, so like I do with regular Pogo, One Day With You by Pogo. Hope to see you all tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night. Oh, and don't forget to mute your mic because it'll bleed into.
Oh, yep. All right, peace, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys. Bye.